Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Mr. Levin, welcoming you to a brand new system development lifecycle video. Good times. Okay, so what I have behind this beautiful video of me is a feasibility report. And this feasibility report is put into action after the analysis of the existing system's been done. So let's have a look at the different things you would find inside a feasibility report. Number one, you would have user requirements. And what that means is you would spend time with the users and you write up a list of what they wish the new system to have, basically. And you write it as a list. The developer and the client sit down, they talk to each other, and then they come up with an agreement. They then come up with a success criteria. What does success look like? How do we judge if it's a success or failure? And that's part of user requirements. Then what we have is details of the existing hardware and software. Do we put in new technology or do we keep the current system and software? Who knows? We then have the scope of the present system. So the current system, what's the size of the current system? How many different assets does it have? So if we were analyzing, I don't know, Amazon, and we looked at their existing system, it is huge. So if we had to build a brand new website for Amazon, the project scope would be ginormous. We would actually have to look at the organization chart of Amazon. We'll have to look at all the different sources of data for Amazon. We have to look at how they actually capture the data in the first place, so that every single person who's building this brand new system knows exactly what to do, whose role is what, how the system should work, the current system. Some websites are very small. Some systems are very, very small, which basically means this job isn't as big. We then have major data processing functions and processes. And what that basically means is we look at the data flow. We look at what comes into the system and what our system should produce. Example. Let's imagine that we were using some exam software, which when you do your exams, you do it online. The data going in would be your answers. The number crunching, this factory, would be someone grading your papers. And the outcome would be your graded papers. You can have it as a graph, your strengths, your weaknesses. You can have a whole class summary of who's done well on certain questions. That is data flow. You're looking at where it comes into the system, where it's processed, and then when it leaves the system again. And to do this, you look at something called data flow diagrams. And data flow diagrams basically show data moving through a system, what different processes need to be a part of it. We also have context diagrams, and context diagrams look at the whole system and information flow, not data flow, information flow. So, to recap, you've got data flow and context diagrams. Data flow looks at data, believe it or not, and information is based upon the context diagram or information flow. We'll look at these diagrams on a later video. But what you need to be aware of is major data processing functions and processes are a part of, drumroll, the feasibility report. Finally, identifying problems with present systems. And what that means is you'll meet different people who work for the company. You would observe the common systems and you write a list of all the potential issues of a problem system let's try this again. You would look at all the problems with the current system, what's working really badly. So you would study people, you'll study how it works, and you'll write that list. It could be that it loads too long. It could be that there's lots of bugs and it crashes all the time. It could be that the user flow takes too long for them to get to do what they need to do, so there's no shortcuts. So even experts get frustrated because there's no shortcuts. And then what you want to do is come up with ideas on how to solve these problems. Identify problem. I did say this was the last one, but it's not, because we need to also analyze the costs and benefits of a new system. So, staff training, new staff, equipment, hardware, software licenses, communication systems. What new costs do we need to put in place? We then weigh up against the benefits. What's the benefit of having this brand new system in the first place? Is it going to be so much better than the old system? So, costs are going to be high, but what are the benefits? Are the benefits going to be higher? So you weigh it up